Hi guys, and welcome to the first YouTube video that I've done in a very long time. So, as you might remember, I used to do lots of drum covers on this channel, and that's probably what most of you guys remember me for, but I've decided to take a new approach for this channel. I've decided to resurrect this channel and focus more on educational purposes. So, what I'm going to be doing with this channel from now on is I'm going to be uploading lots of drum videos, I'm going to be doing gear reviews, basically everything that is involving drums and is educational or exciting and interesting. So there will be some drum covers, I'm sure, at some point, but for the most part it's going to be for learning purposes, so drummers can come to the channel and they can learn new things. So as you might have guessed from the title, this is going to be the first lesson on the channel. So I really hope you stick around and hit that notification button, because there's going to be a lot of great content coming soon. So in this lesson we're going to be looking at inverted double strokes. We're going to be looking at what they are and how we can actually apply them to the drum set. The inverted double stroke is something that's great for grooves or fills that just give it some nice embellishments and create nice nuances on the kit. So what's the difference between a normal double stroke and an inverted double stroke? Well, the sticking is the exact same. So in double strokes the sticking is right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, and so on. And in inverted doubles it's the exact same. So it's still right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, or the opposite if you're changing your lead hand. But the difference is where the pattern lies within the bar. So the crucial difference between a double stroke and an inverted double stroke is that the inverted double stroke is shifted back by a 16th note in terms of the grid of the bar. So that sounds very confusing and it's hard to work out on the fly, but there's a much simpler way of thinking about it. So with normal double strokes, you've got right, right, left, left, like I said, and the first stroke on the double stroke is the downbeat. So you're playing along, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're always having that first stroke with the double stroke is the downbeat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. And with the inverted double, the main difference is that the second stroke of the double stroke is actually on the downbeat. So what that means is, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, you're actually playing the second stroke of the double as the downbeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play both of these on the snare drum, and I'm going to put a metronome on so you can actually hear it in context. And then here's the inverted double with the accents on the beat as well. So just so you can differentiate between the two, because they sound very similar, I'm just going to play the right hand up on the hi-hat and the left hand on the snare, so you can hear the differences between the two. Here's the normal double stroke. And here is the inverted double stroke. So hopefully you can hear the difference between the normal double stroke and the inverted double. The inverted double sounds a bit weird because it's going over the bar and over the beat with each stroke, but that creates a really cool effect. And when you speed it up and you add dynamics to it, it sounds really cool and really interesting. So how do you actually practice and get better at playing these inverted doubles? Well, just like any other rudiment and pattern, it's all about just playing it and building up the tempo slowly and just making sure you're under control of the sticks and you're using your wrists and your fingers to control the stick and the movement of the stick. So when I'm practicing this, what I like to do is I like to just accent each beat, so that creates a nice snapping motion of the wrists, and I'll just demonstrate that just now for you. So in a nutshell, that is the inverted double stroke. Now how do we apply that to the drum kit? So there's obviously a huge amount you can do with that, because it's just a simple pattern. You can do so much with it because of that. I'm going to show you a few examples we can do though, and then it's up to you to do the rest. But this should get you started. So let's go through some examples of how we can apply the inverted double stroke. into grooves, and I'll give you a couple fills as well. So the first example I've got is just a simple rock groove, and then for the last part it's just a nice inverted double between the hi-hat and the snare. Now the first thing I want to say about this example is don't be scared by the notation. So it looks like obviously we've got the 30-second notes, but we're playing at such a slow tempo it's not actually that bad, and it feels like 16th notes almost. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play that example for you, and I'm going to show you at a slow tempo and then a wee bit higher tempo as well. So there's a couple of things you want to be made aware of when you're practicing this. So when I play it, I like to use the left hand, and I like to add ghost notes instead of full strokes on the left hand when I'm doing the inverted double. And that creates a nice effect, and it creates a kind of airiness to the groove, and it's not too much, because if you're just suddenly playing 30-second notes, it's a bit too much suddenly if you're playing in just a simple groove. But if you keep it nice and dynamic, it can add a lot and it not be too overwhelming. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you're looping that and it's nice and smooth. So you want to hit that last note on the inverted double, and you want to hit the kick drum on the downbeat of the bar to repeat it. So that's a great embellishment that you can use at any point in the bar really. I like to use it as the start of the bar instead. So this next example is really cool, and it's something I use all the time. You'll probably see a lot of videos of people using it, and it just sounds great. So to make things simple, I've just notated it as 16th notes, but you can do it as 30-second notes if you're feeling brave. But for now, we're just going to focus on getting the pattern down before we speed it up or change the resolution of the notes. So it looks pretty overwhelming on the sheet music, but really it's not too bad at all. So it is just constant inverted doubles, leaded by the right hand, and all you're really doing is moving the right hand for the backbeat. So for the whole groove, this left hand is just staying where it is, and you're just moving the right hand down onto the snare when it's time for the backbeat. So that's when that practicing comes in handy that we're doing in the first exercise, where we're doing quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Because that's exactly what we're doing with that right hand on the backbeat. We're doing a quiet note and then a loud note for the backbeat. And again, what I'll do is I'll do it at a slow tempo at 16th notes, and then a fast tempo at 16th notes as well. Okay, so we're just going to speed that up a wee bit.
3, 4.
Oh, man. And again with this groove, I like to keep the left hand as ghost notes because it makes it less obnoxious and it's not just constant 16th notes in your face. It creates a bit of flow and it creates a nice groove that you can use. So that's a couple ideas that you can use with your hands and the inverted doubles. And now we're going to start to talk about how we can incorporate feet into this as well. So I'm going to talk about a couple ways that we can use our feet, specifically the bass drum, so your right foot or your left foot if you're left-handed, and how we can use that in conjunction with the inverted doubles. So the first thing I like to do is basically replace one of the hands that you'd be doing the inverted doubles and replacing it with a foot. So if you're leading with the right, let's say that you want to swap the right hand for the bass drum, this is what it sounds like. Or you can play it with both hands like this. So you can either play it with just the left hand or you can play it with both hands. So I was just going bass, right, left, bass, right, left, bass, right, left, like that. And vice versa, if you want to change the left hand into a bass drum, this is what that sounds like.
3, 4.
Just like that. And again, we can use both hands instead of just the right hand, like this. So I was going right, bass, bass, left, right, bass, bass, left, right, bass, bass, left, right, bass, bass. So we can start to use these patterns and start to move them around the kit. So we can start to incorporate the toms and even just the hi-hat, or just use it in a groove. So for these examples, I'll use them as fills and I'll go around the toms. So those are a couple of great patterns that you can use for gospel chop fills or just general fills. They sound great as gospel chop when they're sped up and they're really high tempo, but they're pretty versatile. Alright, so that is the end of the lesson. Hopefully you've got enough information, and of course if there's any questions just pop them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. But I really hope you've enjoyed this first video, and there's going to be a lot more of this coming as well. I've got plans for lots of different videos, so stay tuned, and if you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully see you in the next video. Take care.